Hey, everybody. It is Bev, and we are live. Whoops, hold on. I just lost my screen here. Hold on. There we go. If you see, if you're with us, I'm so sorry. Hi, guys. It's Thursday night, and I am a little bit tired, and I cannot get the right screen up. So we're just going to leave it like this, okay? We are going to leave it here. And so, good evening. It is Thursday evening, and we are live with the M2, the brand new M2 from xTool. And anyway, I should probably drink some more of my coffee. But if you are here and you are hanging out with me, can you chime in and tell me where you are from and tell me what's going on so that we can get more viewers in? And I'm going to go through. If you were here last night hanging out with us, we went through the M2 and we went through everything about it. But we're going to do that again tonight too. We're going to cover a few things. Hello, Cindy. How are you? It has been a long day, and so it's all good. But little rough start here. But hi, Levi in Kingwood. Hello again, Jennifer. You guys make sure you enter again to win the gift card. And so I'm having some ponytail problems. I was trying to put my hair up right before we went live, and I don't know, kind of losing my mind today. So that's it. We're okay. And but we are here. We're going to cover some things over the M2. We're going to repeat a few things again. And then we're going to talk about the things last night that you asked me to experiment with. Hello, Pam. I know it's such a long day. Hello, Why Not Workshop. Thank you, Cindy. I am doing well. It was just it was the craziest day. I'm just going to tell you guys, so many people were so excited about the M2 that people who've come to the studio for demos or workshops. I had 5 people walk in to the studio today asking me to see the M2, which was fabulous. It was great. My studio, while we don't have like open hours per se, I just work in here. I'm pretty open. Anyone who knows me can always stop by and things like that. And so we just had so many people come in because they were so excited about the M2. So anyway, so it was just kind of like a crazy day. I did not get everything done that I wanted to get done, but it's okay because we're going to be live again tomorrow night. And I think I got enough done that you guys are going to be really happy. Hello, Kim. How are you? Southern Illinois. We have a good friend in Southern Illinois. And my husband is actually from Chicago area. He grew up outside of Chicago. Anyway, hello, Sam's Design. Hello, Patrick. How are you? Hello, Alan Meeker. Oh, Charlotte, North Carolina. So pretty. Hello, Miss Sandy. How are you? Sandy from Alabama, one of my friends. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about the M2. Yesterday we went through, and so I know we have some new things. Hello, Megan. So we have new things to talk about, but we're going to go through this in case we have new viewers tonight, because I know that we're not going to have the same exact set of people. So the M2 is the newest offering from xTool, and it is it's a crafter's laser. It is a laser that is easy to use, comfortable to use. It has the automatic creation system in the software, which it goes for all of the xTool equipment. And this is one that is really fantastic if you are a crafter, if you are a small batch creator, an Etsy shop, you're looking to learn about lasers, you're not really sure where you land yet, what you're going to want to do with it. It's just a great thing. I've had so much fun the past 2 weeks just kind of playing with it, just learning it. And even with as many lasers as we have here in the studio, I can still see myself coming to this laser to do things. And in fact, I have something planned for tomorrow night about starting an Etsy business with this. I think that you guys will really like and resonate with. But tonight I had said we're going to do tumblers. Last night we showed the printing features, and we're going to go through all of that again, and then we'll hit the tumblers later. But there are 2 cameras in this. There's a camera here, and then there's a camera in the lid, so that whenever you close the lid, it will automatically take a fresh picture and put it on your screen. And so it will help you align things. It will help you see what's going on in the laser. It will help your screen accuracy, measurement. It does auto measuring for you, all of those things. The other thing that it has, and I'm just going to click over here on my xTool Studio, and I'm going to have it, we don't have any material in there. And so I want it to just go to a new screen. I'm just going to open up a new screen here so that we can have it rehome. Let's see here. And there we go. It's telling me the device is busy. Did I stop it at something? Hold on. I might have stopped it doing something, but I don't think I did. We're going to just turn it off and turn it back on. I was doing tumblers earlier and really trying to hone in tumblers. I'm going to tell you that tumblers are not something that I am normally very good at all. I'm not a tumbler maker. I'm not, if your tumblers come into the studio, my son does them. Hello, Sue again. How are you? And so I've really been trying hard to learn the tumblers here for the M2. Now, a lot of questions today were, what size is this? So this is 24 inches by 21 inches. So easy to put on a work table, a workbench, a tabletop, like a little IKEA cart, things like that. Very easy. And it is lightweight. Most of the time when things come into the studio and they are in the boxes, I have to wait till someone comes, helps me lift them out, kind of thing. I can pick this one up. I can move it easy peasy, very much so. So Jennifer, I asked about the riser base, and there's actually a whole thread going in the M2 group on Facebook as well. I asked xTool about the riser base today and told me that there was not a riser base planned. However, all of the much more techie people in Facebook and ones that also have had the M1 and different ones that they have the riser for, the tray, the metal tray in the bottom has screws to come out, and it's actually, you have to take it out to clean it. You can remove it to clean. So they are saying that they will just end up building a riser base. You don't need a riser base though for the tumblers, because I'm going to show you our laser head will go horizontal versus vertical to do tumblers. So that is not a, it's not a necessity. Although I did see someone who wanted to do felt hats and things like that. So it would be a necessity for something like that, or even thicker cutting boards. I don't know. I could think of quite a few things that you might want to put in the base kind of thing. But I did do, let's see, which one is it? Hold on, guys. Where did it go? I can't see over here. Did I lose it? Oh, here it is. So this fit easily. This one right here fit very easily. So I think that's probably like a 1/2 inch. So you could do that. You could do cutting boards very easily, or charcuterie board type things. And so, hello, Hope. Yay, Virginia. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm very nervous about doing the tumblers because my brain doesn't compute tumblers on a good day on the other lasers. So I have practiced and I've kind of gotten, I understand the system. I don't have it perfected yet. So you guys are going to have to bear with me because I might just mess up. Okay. Jesus, I am not sure. They told me that there's no riser base planned, but according to the M1 users that are in the M2 group, it would be very simple to create a riser. So I don't know. I'm not going to tell you yes or no, because, you can do what you want after you own it within reason. So it does have, so it is the 24 by 22, and our work area inside of here is 12 by 16. So there's a little grid in here. It's 12 by 16. That is our working area. And we are able to cut with the 10-watt laser up to 8 millimeters basswood plywood, which is about 1/8 of an inch, and then the 20-watt up to 10 millimeters, right? 1/8 of an inch. I'm pretty sure that's right. Black acrylic, you can cut. I have not finished trying out the other acrylic. So black acrylic in one pass. One of the questions yesterday was a very good question. What class of laser it is? It is a class 1 laser. That means that there is no e-stop in it. However, if it's running and you lift the lid, it is going to stop. It's going to come to a stop. Every laser should do that anyway. It is a safety precaution. You do not ever want to run your lasers with the lid open. I know a lot of people do it because they trick it. They do magnets or they do something so that they can either take camera shots or put something in there that's larger, things like that. But it is not a safe practice. We like all of our eyes and body parts over here. So I'm sure. Oh, Sue, I don't even think it'll take a few months. I literally think it'll take a few days, if not a week. I would be shocked if one of the engineering minds over there in the Facebook group that has a 3D printer has not already done it. I mean, I would literally be shocked if it is not already done. So, but not having an M1, I don't really know how the riser base works other than taking it out and allowing for more. So, Patrick, I asked, and they told me that there was no 40-watt laser. So I don't know where that information came from, but I asked specifically about the riser base and about the 40-watt laser, and they said that there was no. So Leslie, will this cut HTV vinyl? Only if it is laser safe vinyl. So the M1 Ultra has a cutting blade versus a laser. So the M1 Ultra has different heads. It has a laser head plus it has a cutting blade that you can swap out. The cutting blade is what cuts the vinyl on the M1 Ultra. This one does not have a cutting blade. It only has the laser head. Caesar North America has an entire selection of laser safe HTV. Huge selection on their website. If you go to siserna.com, Caesar or Caesar North America, I always call it Caesar, which is wrong, but Caesar North America, they have a huge selection of laser safe vinyl. I did a quick Google today just to see, because I had questions about embroidery, cutting patches and cutting out the embroidery, the glitter HTV for embroidery. And I found a ton of laser safe options all over the interwebs. So it would not be hard to find. So yes, thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, exactly. So they make a ton of it, beautiful vinyls, glitter vinyls, holographic vinyls, anything you could possibly want as far as the cutting it or the safety for the vinyls in here. So with this one, you have two swappable heads. You have either the 10-watt or you could purchase the 20-watt. There's different packages on the website. So I'm going to unplug it here. And so I have the 10-watt here. So there's a 10-watt right here, has a little fan built right into the top, the laser right here. And then there is also the inkjet module right here as well. And so you can swap these so that you can do print and cut projects or print only projects. Absol, they are here. Hold on, let me just change our graphic. So there's different price points, but there is the 10-watt and the inkjet are right now $6.99. I think the package, the largest package that I saw on the website, which was one of the all-in-one bundle, was the 20-watt laser head, the inkjet module, the rotary for tumblers, and I think that was all. And it was like $13.99. So depending on what you want in the laser bundle, you can start at, I think, $5.99, right? That's my other graphic over here. Let's see here. So $549. So you can start at $549 and go all the way up to $1,300 and change. So let's say $1,400 just to be, on the high side. But you can, so there's plenty of options there. The M1 has the cutting head and inkjet head, and the M2 has a laser head and inkjet head. That is correct. The M1 Ultra. So the M1 Ultra has the cutting head or blade, has a laser head, has the pin holder so that you can use the pins to, create custom lettering, address envelopes for a wedding, things like that. And and the inkjet head. And then it does not, however, have the camera system, the dual camera system. So on the M1 Ultra, you take a photo with your phone and use that for positioning, where here we have the dual camera sets. Joe, I personally would buy a 20-watt as well, because I just feel like even if the 10-watt will do what I want it to do, you might as well go ahead and get the highest power you can get at the time. I will say that I am hugely impressed with what the 10 watt has been doing here. So I'm going to go through some of the things that you guys asked me last night to talk about. And let me see, where should we start on this? I'm going to walk right around here. Let me close this lid. And so one of the things we did last night were we printed on this cork coaster. If you were here with me last night, we printed on here, and right afterwards, someone asked me to rub my fingers over and see if it smudged. And it did. Immediately, it did smudge. However, this morning when I came in and I rubbed my fingers all over it, and there's no smudging. So I do think that there is some drying time, that you need to allow some drying time, just like something coming through your inkjet printer, you're doing photo paper or something like that. You need to give it a little time for it to dry out. The other question was, we'll just throw it on the floor. It's all good. The other question was about cutting fabric. So I cut a little hard today. This is just cotton fabric, clean edges, clean seams. And so absolutely you can cut your fabric out for applique. And so, I mean, you know what, Jennifer, there's nothing wrong with the 10 watt. I mean, absolutely nothing wrong. I just personally, if I was within $100, $200, I would just go ahead and buy the stronger laser. So down the line, I wouldn't be, salty about it or disappointed or want to do something. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with the 10 watt at all. Coffee, guys, I'm drinking coffee. So Pam will hear from me at midnight again tonight. Actually, she didn't hear from me last night, but that is my favorite coffee, though. I don't know. It's good butter pecan coffee at nighttime, the best. All right. So the next question we had was about the ink aid, about printing. And so Hope, I think you're going to be happy with it. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm getting clean cuts. I'm getting all kinds of stuff. So yesterday, I want to say it was Martin, I think that was his name, was saying that you could use ink aid to help. Hello, Moshray 8400. Hi, Zobo. That you could use the, I don't sleep anyway, not really, not a whole lot. So that you could use ink aid to help the ink stick to things like leatherette, different things like that. I went to order ink aid last night on Amazon. It's like coming in like mid-June. So I started Googling and saw that a lot of people use I went to Michael's and I got this. It is acrylic gesso, clear gesso. And this one right here, this is the one we printed last night without anything on the wood, just raw, soft wood. Okay, this is basswood, 1/8 inch. And, it's a soft wood. You can like use your fingernail, you could dent it kind of thing. So the ink kind of spread a little bit, but not bad. And so then I put the clear gesso on it and I printed the same one again. And the detail is quite different. So I'm going to order also the spray. xTool has a spray on their website to coat things like wood, anything soft, but there is a huge difference. I just took a little foam brush, craft store foam brush, brushed it on, thin coat, and really the difference is night and day of the clarity. And that has nothing to do with the inkjet head. That has to do with the substrate that you're printing on. And that it's the porosity and just, kind of thing. It's like, have you ever like tried to stain something and keep it within the lines and then it just starts bleeding through? Kind of that same principle. So I definitely think that using something to promote on here will give you a much clearer and better print. So I really liked that. I'm going to change our graphics for a second, guys, because I want to make sure that you guys enter to win the gift card. The $100 gift card, scan it with your little QR code there and enter to win a $100 gift card from xTool. And because I'm going to tell you, if I had a $100 gift card from xTool, I didn't bring it out to show tonight, which I should have. I have the paint, the air sprayer, and it is so much fun. And I think it's like $139 with, I got it like with the whole kit, and with this and the airbrush, the paint airbrush kit, you could do so many fun projects. Let's see, what else did I do? Okay, the other thing that was asked was about printing, 20 watt, 10 watt, and so, and I agree with that, Jennifer, too. Like, I will tell you guys, okay, so I have been in the crafting community. I'm 55 years old. So I've been in the crafting communities for a long time. Different ones, silhouette crafting groups, embroidery craft group, embroidery groups, this group, that group. I mean, if there's a craft out there, I probably have tried it or want to try it or do it or have bought the machine at some point. And I started with a silhouette portrait, the tiniest little silhouette you could, and a heat press that my husband found in someone. It was like an auction thing. It wasn't where you get the whole storage room, but like they had the auction stuff. And that was the jankiest heat press. And then I moved to an Amazon heat press that was like $100. Okay. And I pressed hundreds of t-shirts on that heat press, hundreds, probably in the thousands on that heat press. And I see people all the time who come in for apparel printer demos, and they have a smaller laser. They have maybe the S1, or they have just the original F1 diode laser, and they make amazing projects, amazing projects. A lot of times it's not the laser that you own, it's the mindset and the creativity. So I 100% agree with you there, Jennifer, that, personally, would I buy the 20 watt? I would, just because I have had lasers and things like that. And so I would buy the 20 watt. But I'm also one who just would buy, like, that's what I would do. But I don't think that you can ever go wrong with anything, because it's a matter of putting whatever tool you have in your toolbox to work. Alan, you just scan the QR code. If you're watching this, use your phone, scan the QR code, and then you enter your email address, and then they'll send out an email to the winners within 48 hours. Mix 1-in-1 Elmer's glue and water. Oh, that's a really good thing, Joseph, because yesterday I tried Mod Podge matte. I tried the 2-in-1 sealer spray. I tried a little bit of things. I didn't try Elmer's glue. And so far, the Gesso has been the best so far. And when she moved, and that's how it got started, right? So, we all start someplace. And honestly, I'm glad, because had someone given me like the most powerful laser to start with, I wouldn't have learned techniques and workarounds and how to do things. And I would have been intimidated. I would have been massively intimidated. And so, I don't think that there's any right or wrong answer. Everyone has their own personal journey and use for things. Okay, so I did put Gesso on this one. And you're welcome, Alan. I did put it on a little piece of leatherette. I didn't test the leatherette without it. This was like, I was searching for pale leatherette in my stash, and I have sheets of leatherette, but they're all like navy blue, dark brown. I didn't have any white for some reason, which is crazy. So this was the one I did, and it definitely printed a few little lines, but that could be my brush strokes. Now, this one was the most interesting to me, because a lot of people asked if you could print on fabric. So I just cut a little piece of cotton. This is just plain old, those little squares you can buy at Michael's or Walmart or Hobby Lobby. They come in the little packs, the little quilty packs. This is just one of those, nothing special, just cotton, just a little cotton. And I printed on it right there. And so we printed on the fabric, and it was great. So started with a K40, and all I had to do, right, Beth? And you know what? And I'm telling you, if you have only one machine and there's projects you want to do, you will figure it out. You will go through and figure out how to make that machine and that equipment work for you. Joe, so we just talked about the riser base. xTool's official word to me this morning was that there is no riser base. However, the word on the street, aka the Facebook groups, are that the bed unscrews and people are going to make their own risers. I don't really know what the correct answer is that, but the official answer I got from xTool Corporate this morning was that there is no riser available right now or in the works. Now, I do think though that xTool listens to their community a lot. And so if there's a lot of people asking for a riser, it probably will come down the line. I also can see where printing a 3D one would be super easy for this. I don't print 3D, but I can see how the concept for it would not be very hard to add one. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't start seeing those in the next week. So let's see, that's especially for a kid's birthday or something like that. Yes, absolutely. And you could do this also, like if you like the hat patches, that have the raw edge, you could put this on several layers, sew it on. I mean, like there's a lot of things. If you do upcycling and bags and things like that, there's a lot of things that you could use for this. However, I will say what I did is I printed a second one. Immediately after I printed, I put it in my heat press thinking I would cure it. And then I went to my sink and I washed it with Dawn, soaked it. Like I didn't just like run water over it. I soaked it. And then this is what happened when I put it back in the heat press. Now, I will tell you though, when it was wet, it didn't look like this. This is what it looked like when I put it in the heat press. So maybe if I hadn't heat pressed it, it would not do this, but it is not waterproof like this. It is not water stable like this. So let me see here. Waiting also to get my Wonder Press. I know my Wonder Press comes tomorrow. You guys, I'm so excited, like so excited over that Wonder Press. So thank you, Andrew. So Andrew says that he's going to print one. Hello, Richard. Hi, Kim. How are you? Right, or themed girls night. Jennifer, you're going to have to come visit tomorrow night because I have this whole idea, a whole Etsy shop in my head using this M2. It might be a little bit more female centric, maybe kind of thing, but I think the guys can learn too. Can you engrave on plastic pencil cases? No, you cannot engrave on plastic pencil cases. The only plastic that really can be engraved on is with the F2 UV. The other ones tend to melt it. So if one of you guys knows something different, feel free to chime in, but I would not try to engrave on plastic pencil cases. Silicone, yes, but not like a hard plastic one. Can the snap airbrush do detail work? Yes, it has a tiny nozzle. In fact, it has, I want to say the little nozzle kit has like 10 different nozzles in there from like 0.01 or whatever. And they're labeled with like the different size sprays. So you can do detail work with it. And it's very light to hold, very easy to manipulate. So I really love it. And it's not intimidating to use. And so how many winners have we had? 3 winners per night. So I don't know who won last night. They said within 48 hours. So if you won, let me know. I know my friend Pam has won before. I don't know who else has won. So anyway, so that is the question about can you print on fabric? And let me see, Michelle, and tomorrow night is my 3rd in a row. I'm only the lucky one because I'm the only one who got the inkjet head that showed, like some other people have, I think it got lost in the, not lost in the mail, but stuck in customs. Because like right now my Wonder Press is stuck in customs. So this is why. So can you print on a t-shirt and wash it? I don't think so, because when I printed on this and then I washed it, this is what I ended up with. So I would not, it's inkjet. So just like your home computer printer, that most everyone has an inkjet printer in their house. Think about that. It's, water soluble ink. So there's a lot of things you can do with it, but I would not. Now you could print on the t-shirt transfers that use inkjet printing techniques because they lock it in somehow and then you cut it out and then you could press it on your t-shirt. So you could do that. And let's see, I have in the F2. Yeah, I would not, the only one that I would even attempt any kind of plastics is the F2 UV, just because UV lasers have been used in industrial and medical systems for so many, decades. And that's what they laser print on the plastics. Let's see. Taking mine tonight because, oh, thank you, Jennifer. Sue, you've won before. Yay. Okay. So see, we have some people who've won. I'm going to go ahead and punch up the graphic over here. And because, you guys, it's a stellar deal. So we are, any more questions on the fabric, on what we did with the fabric or anything like that about that printing? And I did do this cup earlier today. And like I said, today was really crazy. I was so excited though to see my local friends, people who have come in before for demos, be so excited about the M2 that they came to the studio. Like it was really wild at one point. And I was like doing a virtual demo and I had people standing over here in my studio. It was just fun. So do you think there will be a dye sublimation head? That part, I don't know whether or not there would be a dye sublimation head. It would really actually be helpful if there was, just because with the Wonderpress coming out and the Wonderpress really focusing on sublimation, as far as like the tumbler wraps, things like that, it would actually be really nice if there was a dye sublimation head in there. So I'm not really sure. And Jennifer, I know, I kind of want the M1 Ultra too, because this one, I can see both of them on my desk. I would have so much fun. Although I still use my silhouette all the time. I have a silhouette, and graduation season, I don't know how many vinyl decals and vinyl words I cut this year out of the blue. Like I never cut vinyl anymore. I had to actually go to Harry Hines, which is here in Dallas, Fort Worth, and go to Harry Hines to the vinyl store and get all kinds of colors of vinyl to do monograms, which is just craziness. So no, there isn't supposed to be one. I asked, I made a big project today on the M2. So the Beth, what did you say 5 minutes before the about the sublimation head? So anyway, I did this one today. Okay, let me see here. Everything's backwards to me, guys. I'm sorry. So I did engrave this one today on the M2, and I'd like it to have been bigger, but I am still learning the measurement. And so I never had a Cricut. I've always been a Silhouette girl. I love Silhouette Studio. I love their software. I really, like, I'll never get rid of mine because my daughter, who's 17, she uses it all the time whenever she does projects for her classes and stuff like that. The M1U, oh yeah. I mean, like, we might as well just have them all, right? Do you think they would come out with a cutting feature? That one, I don't know. And I did not ask yesterday, or I asked last night for today, the questions about the riser base and what else did I ask? I forgot what I asked. The riser base and the 40 watt. So I did not ask, but I can ask before tomorrow night's live. And so we will see what is going on with there. Okay, let's talk about tumblers here. And then I'm going to show you in here how we set it up. And then we are going to, in fact, you know what I'm going to do? Actually, I'm going to show you in Studio because it walks us through how to do it. And then you can see on the big screen here as well. So I am going to move up the $100 gift card and the, correct, Jennifer, this is really geared to crafters, beginning people. It's also geared to people who are, it's really funny. When I was in California at the xTool headquarters, and we got to meet some people, real life customers who came in and things like that, there were a lot of engineers, like real life engineers, go to office engineer kind of thing. And they use the smaller lasers. And when I say smaller, I mean smaller than the P3. So, but they use lasers to make a lot of prototypes. And so this one would be, a great one to make prototypes with. Absolutely a great one to test out things. When years and years ago, I took 2 architecture classes at University of Houston because I thought I wanted to be an interior designer, but that was wrong. But we had to make models all the time, like, blades, knives, T-squares kind of thing, making models. And something like this would have been a dream, that there was, not even an AOL disk whenever I was in college. So let's see here. So let's talk about the rotary. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my xTool Studio screen. And I'm going to change this to use rotary attachment. And whenever you do this the first time or anytime, there's a little click up here that says how to install. So it's very handy, and we're going to walk through it together. So we're going to place the positioning part. Where did I put my positioning part? So this is the positioning part. I'm hoping that you can see this on the regular screen as well. And so this is the positioning part, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to it goes into place just like the laser heads. It has the magnets on the back, and it will just snap into place right there, and you'll feel it snap in, and it's secure. So we are placing the positioning part, and now then we are going to go ahead and do the calibration, which, whoops, hold on. Was I supposed to install the traverse and finally install the laser head? Yep. Talking too much and not paying attention. So the laser head normally goes like this, and I'm kind of guessing where I'm at with the camera here. So normally goes like this, but we are going to lay it on its side to where it is horizontal, and it's going to lay on the bed right there. And then we're going to go ahead and plug it in right there. And now we are going to do our calibration. I'm going to close it. And it's going to do a positioning calibration. So we're going to go ahead and calibrate. I did this before, but it's, we're going to walk through the steps together. So it just kind of vibrates back and forth, and I can actually feel it on my table. And so it is to reduce processing issues from the vibration of the rotary. And so we're going to let that do that. While that's doing that, and I can watch it over here, I am going to see if there's any questions. Let's see here. It's still vibrating. How do you refill the ink cartridges? They will just you'll just buy a new one. They will just pop out. This will just pop out, and you'll pop a new one in, which is great because you'll never have to worry about print head drying, anything like that. I used to have a sticker printer that had that same technology, and the print head was in with the ink. So when you replaced ink, you replaced the print head. And so you never had those kind of clogging issues. Ronald, I'm going to show you, there is a laser guard that we're going to put on at the appropriate time. And this laser shield keeps you from being able to see the laser beam directly at all. And so, yes, it does. It is a little disconcerting, but there is a shield to make sure that no one looks into the laser beam or anything like that. So, and because it is a class 1 laser, when the class 1 laser, when you lift the lid, it will completely just stop. The machine will stop. So as a safety feature. So let's see here. We are almost done. I'm going to go ahead and go back over here and watch and see where we're at. It's still cooking. And you only have to do this one time. This is just the instructions on how to set it up. We could have skipped this step. I just want you guys to see it as we walk through the whole thing together. And let's see. And I think we're done. So now we're going to say it's moving back over into position. There we go. And I'm going to say next. And so now it's going to have us install the rotary attachment. Okay. So when we do this, and it has 2 of these little guides. One says right and one says left on here. And whoops, right, left. Well, they're reversible, but one is R, one is left. And then you have your rotary plate, your rotary base. And we're going to come over here and we're going to go ahead and install it. So we put the right one into the corner down here, and we are going to take the cord. I hope you guys can see this. Take the cord, and there's a little seam over here. We're going to just plug it in. hold on. I want to make sure you're seeing this. So I'm going to check over here and see. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Okay, I think you can. And so I think you have to have the other rotary, Jennifer, just because I'm going to show you when we're doing it. So so this little cord, there's little clips over here. You're going to clip them in at the back of the lid. There's a little notch right here that comes in the so the cord, so you can still seal the lid and the cord can go in there. And it's funny, when I unpacked my box, at first I thought that I had a little like break in my plastic, but that is totally normal. It's part of what it is. So now we're going to take this, I'm going to just plug it in. And then I'm going to line it up right here in this little groove. And then I'm going to take my other base plate, I'm going to slide it in to where it is now, flush and square with the bottom, and everything is in there. So I'm also going to release this. So that I can pull out my, I'm at a wrong angle. There we go. There we go. I don't know why I couldn't pull that out. So this is our chuck right here. And so the chuck, I'm going to switch back to you guys so I can see where I'm holding it. So the chuck has different jaws. So you have kind of like this T jaw, then you have like these gripper jaws. You also have ones that are just plugs like this. I'm not sure what you use this one on. I think for smaller objects. And then you have, just like the other rotary, if you're going to do rings or do cylindrical, like small cylindrical objects, things like this. This is what we use for our rings to do. And so it just opens and closes, and you can move these in or out, whatever, for the sizing of your tumbler. So I'm going to put in this tumbler, and I'm going to tell you I'm a little nervous because this tumbler is much easier to do, okay? Which we might end up doing both. I'm not really sure. We're going to see. So we're going to go ahead. Actually, we're going to start with, should we start with this one? I want to show you both because there's two different ways of measuring, but I guess we'll start with this one because this is the one that I'm having the hardest time wrapping my brain around, although I see people doing great jobs with them already. Let me see here. I don't see an air assist with the ordering kit. So Sky, there is an air assist already built in, and it comes with one of the black hoses. So you don't have to have another inline fan. I have mine hooked to the smallest air purifier that's on the xTool website, the one I use with my F1 and F2. You could use it with an AB2, or you could simply just put your hose out a window. So it is for odor control, but there is a fan already built right in here into the back of the laser. So in here, I'm going to move this back in. Whoops. And I'm going to get this in here as securely as I can. And you want to make sure, very important, that everything touches all the way around, okay? So you really want to make sure that, and I'm sure most of you guys have done tumblers, but in case you haven't, you want to make sure that they touch all the way around, and you want to make sure that it is as secure as you can. Thank you, Virginia. Yes. So there is a built-in air assist, and it is right here, right back here. So it is built in, and you have air assist controls. I can show you in xTool Studio when we go back over there in just a second. So whenever you're doing this, the other thing that I messed up a tumbler earlier. When you put this back into the notch here, there's two little parts, and I probably should know this because I'm sure they're all like this. I didn't have it. There's a notch over here. I didn't have these in the notch. I had this in the holder, but I didn't have it all the way seated. So make sure that you do that when you put it back in to your RA2 or your, and it's going to turn, twist, and snap in. And so tighten it up. And then I have the leveler at the bottom, and you want it to just be touching it so that the weight is balanced, but you don't really want to crop it up or anything like that. So I have this all installed, and I'm going to go to the next thing on our xTool Studio right here. Go over here. So now it says snap the main body into the slot in the middle, and so everything is in and stable. I'm going to go to next. So now I already fixed the cable tie. I got ahead of myself. And then connect the cable into the laser. So I've already done that as well. So we are good to go. So now we are going to model the tumbler. So first I'm just going to pick a tumbler out from the list. Doesn't matter what color. I'm just going to pick it out so we have some settings. And I'm going to measure. And whenever you close your lid, just make sure that your cable is in that little notch in the back so that everything, your air, doesn't leak out the sides. Everything is nice and closed and you won't get a lid closed error. And so I'm going to select my jaw type, and I have the cylinder inner grip. And if you hover over it, it shows you on the screen which one you have. And I'm going to measure my distance. And so right now it's going to ask me to go to the highest point. And so I'm going to use my controls. Whoops. And I think right there. And you don't want it on the chuck. And so now I'm going to measure. And it's going to go over. And it actually always touches the holder first. And it goes back to where you set it. And it will measure there. So now we have that part, and now we're going to model. So the normal process is for a cylinder just like this. So the normal process is for something straight up and down, very cylindrical, not a lot of taper, anything like that. So for example, when I did this one, this tumbler has a little bit of taper, minor taper. So I just used the cylindrical processing and didn't do anything else. On this one, I needed to model it. And so we're going to model this one again. So I'm going to go to modeling process, and we're going to go here. So we're going to have it go to the slopest point, first. And so we're going to go ahead and move with our little directional arrows. I'm going to move over, and I'm going to turn on. There's a little light that is supposed to come on. I can't see mine though, so I don't know if I'm not. And then if it moves too much, you can change this to where it's not moving as many at a time. So I'm going to go right there. I'm going to tell it to mark. And so now I'm going to go to the top part. Whoops. I always go the wrong way. And then it's going to tell me that I've gone to, this is as high as I can go. And this is what has been honestly giving me a little bit of issue, because I'm not sure that that is as high as I want it, but I think it's underneath the chucks. So it probably is. And I'm going to go ahead and mark it. And I'm going to say next. And then now what this is going to do is measure different points in between to build the model, so that when you put your design on, it doesn't look warped. And so I'm leaving it at the default 5, and it's going to just go along. It's going to touch over here again. And then now it will come back down here, and it's going to just kind of build the model through the tumbler. It's kind of fun to watch. There we go. And so now the preview, I'm not sure if because this is the beta software, but the preview is not matching the same in the same way. Hold on, back over here and make sure. Let's see. Will the M2 register if it's not snapped in all the way? Are you talking about the tumbler down here? Yes, because I earlier was not snapped in all the way, and and I noticed that it was messed up because my tumbler was wobbling. And so I stopped the laser and started over and just put it in my test pile, because I have a lot of test piles. So we're going to go ahead and go back here. And so now I'm going to pull in a design, and I think we're going to just go ahead and pull in an element for this. Actually, let's see what we can find. Projects. And I'm going to pull in a coffee. Let's try coffee tumbler. Let's see if there's a coffee tumbler design in the library. Whoops, hold on. I didn't mean to do that. I just wanted my words to go away. Tumbler. There we go. Let's see. I don't want anything too large because obviously I don't want us to be here like all night. But let's see what this is. That's a nurse one. I'm not a nurse. No one wants me to be a nurse. I would not be a good one at all. I'd be like, I think you need to do that yourself because I don't like blood. So I'd be like, oh, no, thank you. Let's see. Let's see what we have here. Oh, nope, we're not doing that. Let's see. Even though I am a Cowboys fan, let's. Oh, that one would be really pretty on this water bottle. We may go back to that and do that one. Let's see. Or I may do that one tomorrow. No, sorry guys. Let's see here. Why don't we just do a word? We're going to just do a word because obviously I'm striking out. Or we're going to just do a element. Let's do an element and see what we can come up with over here. And oh, you know what? Maybe let's just pull up the cow again. Hold on. We'll do another cow one. Sorry, I should have had this ready. Or we can do here. These are my initials. We'll do that one. Just getting ready to change this to an embroidery file earlier to put on a sweatshirt. So now because this is a PNG, I'm going to just trace it, or not trace it. I don't need to trace it. I guess I could trace it. I was just going to outline it. So there we go. We're going to save it. And so now that'll be our SVG, and we don't need this. And I'm going to go to engrave. And I'm going to, whoops. I'm so used to using the shift to make things smaller in Photoshop and keep them in proportion. And whoops. I always try to do that in here, and it doesn't work. So there we go. And we're going to come here. And so this is where I'm having, I think it's too small for the tumblers, but I don't really know what I'm doing. I need to practice more to figure out the measurements. So now I'm going to go ahead and frame it and make sure that we are close to where I want to be. And that looks good. Could probably move it up a little bit higher. So I'm going to move it over a little bit right there. And I'm going to make it just a tiny bit bigger. And I don't really, since this tumbler is blank and there's really nothing on here, I don't really have to line it up in the center. I can put it anywhere I want to, but that's what we're going to do. And then earlier when I was engraving, I did not find the original engrave clean enough. And so I went up to about 60 power to go through the powder coating. And I left my speed alone, and I put my lines up just a little bit for a little bit cleaner engrave. And so there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and process this. And it says that we're going to have, how long are we going to have to answer questions? 33 minutes. No, that shouldn't be that long because that's not that size. Maybe because it was a PNG. Hold on. We're going to offset it. Let's see if that helps. 0, even though Trace should have done it. I'm sure Richard's over there telling me, Bev, that's not how you do this. But sometimes it's like girl math. We just do it the way we do it. Now then, let's try this one more time. And because the cow tumbler only took me about 14, 15 minutes, maybe. It did not take me that long. So let's process this again to see. 21 minutes. That's fine. We can talk for 21 minutes while it goes. And I'm going to go ahead and hit start while that processes. And there we go. And give me 1 second. There. All right. Okay, let me come back over here so we can answer questions while this one runs. Here we are. Oh, guys, I cannot believe it is already 8:55, but that's okay. We're hanging out tonight because I want to answer as many questions as I possibly can about the M2 for you. Hello, Joe. Actual software is out now. So Beth, I updated my software today. I did my update, but I'm still, and some things are still showing as beta, like in the Tumblr previews and stuff like that. Joe, it will not have risers as far as we know. So I'm sure that someone will 3D print a riser, but xTool's official word to me this morning was that there is no riser. However, I do think because xTool listens to feedback on these lives, they listen to all the different things. If enough people are asking for risers, they may see a reason to add a riser. So I really am going to be up all night again, drinking all this coffee. So let's see. With the other machine too. Yeah. Which one is it? I guess it's my P3 that my modeling is really good on. My son usually runs our tumblers, but the other day I had to do one. I had a customer come in and they needed a sample for like 100 tumblers and he was not here that day. And so I had to do it and I did it. I was able to do it, but but the modeling did work on the P3. So let's see. Do you guys have questions? Any questions on the printing part? Any questions on the, oh, you know what I forgot to do is I did forget to put my shield on. So we're not going to look over there. However, I am going to come here and enable monitoring. I'm not going to look at it. So you can see right here how it is going sideways. And I don't even see that it is breaking through the, I don't see that it is breaking through. So I'm going to let it run and then we're going to be back live again tomorrow night. So you'll see the results tomorrow night anyway. So tell me, any other questions? Who's entered to win the gift card? Anyone? Did you guys all enter to win the gift card? Someone needs to enter to win the gift card. I don't want to give anyone, hold on. I don't want anyone to veer. That can be disconcerting, that little flashing up there. I don't want anyone to do that. So anyone enter to win the gift card? Let's see here. We're going to go ahead and change it here to this. And let me come back over here. And we have, yay, Virginia. I'm so glad someone has to win it. I was going to try to print on this tonight, but since we are doing the Tumblr, and I don't think I have my settings right. I don't see that it is actually engraving at all. It's doing something, but I don't know that my settings are not. Need an air purifier. Yes. And so, yay, Dream Factory. Yay, Lakeisha. Yes, Modern Girl, it is a new drawing every night. And so Beth, take a picture of the QR code. And then whenever you're on your phone, you go to your photos and you just hold down the QR code with your thumb. I believe my kids showed me how to do this. I'm at the age now where my kids have to show me this stuff. But you just hold it down and then it'll come up to the website that you are trying to look at. And so, yay, Denise. Hello, Mark, yeah. Sometimes it's hard, you guys, your usernames. And so I'm so glad, Alan. Anyone have questions? Anyone tell me what you want to see tomorrow night? Because I'm here one more night hanging out with you guys. What questions you have about it and what I can find out for you tonight and anything else that you want to see. So I know that it's so funny, like I'm going to age. Well, I already told you my age. I'm 55, but I remember whenever I was like a kid and we had to go to like my grandmother's house and program the VCR, and now I feel like I'm the grandma who, I'm not a grandma, but like someone has to come program my phone for me. So just checking while testing my RA2 on my P2. That is fun. This is an interesting machine, absolutely. And I feel like it is a great, in the content that they give me to work off of for the lives, it is the easiest craft laser. And I'm going to agree with them on that this is, if you are wanting to craft and you are wanting to start something and you don't know where to start, or you need a secondary something, I could see this even in our studio where we have larger lasers. I could see this just going into my embroidery room so that when I need to cut applique fabric, I don't have to go to the big laser and do it there, that I could just seamlessly do it together. And so Modern Girl, this is a fantastic laser to start with. Hugely impressed with it. I've been having so much fun with it. I started with a little bit above a craft laser when I started. I mean, pretty much in a craft laser, more higher price point, although we've bought ours used. But, and this one just, I mean, it's easy. It's easy peasy. And so thank you, xTool Laser. What is the main difference with, can you make stickers? Yes, you can, Kristen. Yesterday we made stickers on here. So we print and we cut. Now I've been peeling these off and peeling these back on all day, but we made these great stickers on the M2, just regular sticker paper. And it does great. You can make stickers, and as long as you are using laser safe paper, you are good to go. And what's the main difference with the M1? So the main difference between the M1 Ultra, the M1 Ultra and this. So the M1 Ultra has no camera. You need to use your phone to take the photo. And then it also has the blade for cutting vinyl versus using the laser to cut vinyl. And it has the pin attachments with it as well. And where this has the dual camera system, doesn't have a blade for vinyl. So if you're going to cut vinyl with it, you need to make sure you're using laser safe vinyl. And it does not have the pin attachments, but has the, and the rotary, let's see, I'm going to have to redo our tumbler. It's okay though, because we'll be here tomorrow night. So we have time to redo this, right? So it is capable of cutting vinyl. However, the vinyl needs to be laser safe. So we were talking earlier, I Googled earlier today, and there's a lot of places with laser safe vinyl. Caesar North America has tons of it on their website, tons that are all laser safe. So that is the biggest difference between the M1 Ultra has the blade, where this one you need to use your laser head to cut the vinyl. And so that is the big difference. And then, hi Maria, I didn't realize that was your screen name. How are you? So Kristen, it did a great job with cutting the decals. I experimented a little when I started. I was a little worried about cutting through. And so like this sticker sheet didn't cut through, but look at how cute my prints are. I mean, like the prints are great. It is printing fabulous, and these are great. I didn't realize when I printed this, I thought it was just, paper, but it's actually sticker paper. I actually printed this on sticker paper, but I just wanted to see how it did with like a large scale print and with colors. And it actually does just a fantastic job. The, on paper, the print is fantastic. And then on the wood, where raw wood was here, and this was wood treated with gesso, just the artist gesso. But xTool sells a spray, which I'm sure is much easier than coating this on, sells a spray on the website to also promote adhesion and to keep it clear. But you can totally see the difference between this and this. Worth every bit of effort to get to this. Sky, it does not have a honeycomb. Doesn't come with, there's not a honeycomb available yet. Everything is done on the metal base, and it has these little handy dandy, like there's magnets on the bottom, and they just clip to where you can like just level your wood up. If you're doing something like fabric or you're doing sticker paper, you're going to just use like masking tape or washi tape to hold it down. This is inkjet. It's an inkjet print head. And so let's see, what type of ink? Yep, it is inkjet. So it is inkjet. We printed on fabric. If you guys are just joining us, I printed on fabric earlier today. And so it does a great job on fabric. This is untreated cotton fabric. However, when I washed it, it did not wash well. So, and I had cured it in my heat press, and I washed it with Dawn, crinkled it up, like I really like kind of scrubbed at it. And so I don't think, if you were going to use this on making hat patches that you're going to glue on, making cute little things on bags, doing like little bag tags, things like that, it's probably going to be just fine. You could use fabric sealant, or like, you know, the sealant that you use for your shoes, something like that to seal it up. But as far as washability, it is not going to withstand soap and water washing. And let's see here. Anyone else have questions, you guys? We're going to have to repeat this tumbler tomorrow. I'm going to practice more tomorrow on the tumblers, and we're going to nail this. I'm determined that we're going to nail this by the time we're done with our 3 days. But I was happy with this one. This one did great. I just am learning the measurements are a little, I'm just going to say, I am dyslexic. So whenever I'm trying to measure and like move the arrows back and forth, my brain doesn't, like, my brain hasn't wrapped around it, but it will. By the time we're done, we're going to make our brain wrap around it, and we're going to get it done. So, but are there any other questions for us? I want to make sure, can you use the screen printer? So yes, I do think the screen printer is coming as a, I don't know what just fell, but that kind of scared me. Let's see here. The screen printer, I have it on my list here, the accessories. So it will have the screen printer. Oh, my list didn't print. The screen printer is listed on there as an accessory with it. The max diode wattage is 20 watts. So you can either get a 10 watt or a 20 watt in the bundle. So I'm going to show you over here. So there are two different ones. This is for the CMYK and the inkjet, but there's different bundles on the website. And so Sky, a lot of that is going to be dependent on what you're printing. So I believe that the print inkjet head is, let's see, it's water-based ink, and I think it's like 400, let's see, cartridge replacement, shelf life is a year, CMYK. I think it's like 400 prints, just like a home printer, but it is, yeah, up to 400 pages. Standard with the, mix of graphics. So like 400 sheets. That's going to vary a lot though. Like if I'm doing something that's rich color, heavy in color like this versus, black and white, it's going to vary a little bit, but 400 pages is quite a bit. Let's see here. Thank you, Sue. AP2 need to clean. Oh, Levi. Let's see. Can you use all of the modules, or do you need to choose? I see the pricing for one or the other. So Maria, on the website, there's like different bundles where at the top you either pick 10 watt or 20 watt, and then you pick which one you want. And I think the biggest bundle, I was trying to price out the most expensive one, and the most expensive one was $13.99. And then I think the least expensive, which is just 10 watt only, I think is $5.49. I have a graphic over here. So it's $5.49. So you can choose between the, so anywhere between $5.49 and $13, I think it was $13.99 to build your bundle up. So whichever way you think is going to suit you the best. Let me see here. I'm looking. And, and I am sorry that I forgot to put this on there, this laser shield, because the laser shield goes right there to where you cannot see the laser firing on the tumbler. I missed that step. And so, but it is very, very important to do. Let's see. Can you use, no, hi, Helen. I am glad you joined us though. No, you cannot use that one because of how this, I'd have to put mine side by side to see what the real difference is, but the angles of the, I'm going to use my print head instead of the laser. So whenever you're lasering on these tumblers, it is you're going vertical instead of horizontal. And so I think that's why the RA2s and the RA3s don't work. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to enable monitoring, but if you are flashing light is prone, but you can see right there, there's the laser head and going to the tumbler. So, but if you don't like flashing lights, don't look at that. So why would you not go for the, let's see, 10 watt? No, you will not be able to cut stainless steel. So you would need an infrared, you would need like the F2 Ultra, something like that to cut metal. So this is not made, so organics, wood, cotton, fibers, papers, some acrylics, things like that, but not metals. Now the IR 3 watt, you'll be able to mark metals with. And so whatever that module comes out, you'll be able to mark the metals, necklaces, jewelry, things like that. But you're not going to be able to cut stainless steel. Why would you not want to go for the most watts other than money? I think if I were only paper crafting, let's say that I was scrapbooker, card maker, doing things like that, you probably don't need the 20 watt. So I think if depending on what you want to make with it, if I were going to put this in my sewing studio and just use it for appliques and use it for sewing projects, I'd stay with the 10 watt. So I really think that it's just the preference of projects of what you plan to do with it is why you would go with the 10 watt or 20 watt. I tend to, because early in my crafting days, I bought a lot of equipment twice because I was trying to save money and I ended up spending more money than I saved. So now I go like the opposite direction and I try to just go ahead and buy whatever. So, but you really need to examine, like, just because I do it doesn't mean it's right. But you really need to go and look at what you want to make with it, what you're planning on doing, and then decide whether you need the 10 watt or the 20 watt. The 10 watt does have a smaller laser size. It does have so you're going to get a lot more fine detail out of a 10 watt than a 20 watt. 10 watt is going to be slower because of this fine detail than the 20 watt as well. And the 20 watt will have more power. So, but yes, so Virginia, I'm so glad you're in our laser world. It is really fun. I mean, when I started in lasers in 2019, I was super intimidated. I had friends that had the kind that you needed an engineering degree to put together to understand the whole thing. And I was so intimidated. And I found a used one on Marketplace that was a plug and play type laser, craft laser, and I fell in love. Within 30 minutes, I was lasering recipes on cutting boards, and I used to hand trace the recipes in Procreate and do gift, we used to sell a ton of them every Christmas. And I fell in love with the magic of lasering. And so I really do think that if you're new to lasering, this machine will allow you to fall in love with lasering and use it for a lot of things. A whole lot of things. You could make realtor gifts, cutting boards, monograms, Christmas ornaments, bag tags for Easter baskets. Tomorrow we're going to do something along the paper crafting way, but something I have kind of like a little idea in my head that I think, if you are crafty and like to, party plan or do things like that, I have something in mind for tomorrow night. And so plus figuring out the tumblers again. I'm going to work on this tomorrow. So Christy, I don't know if a blade module will be added in the future. So right now, the best answer is that if you're going to use this with vinyl, is just to use laser safe vinyl. And Caesar North America, we found a ton of it. I think Craft Vinyl had a ton of it. There's a lot of laser safe vinyl options out there to use, and they had every color of the rainbow. So right now you would need to if you were buying this and you planned on using vinyl, you would have to just know that you're going to shop for laser safe vinyl versus just going to maybe Michael's or something like that and pulling laser off the shelf, pulling vinyl off the shelf. So does anyone have any other questions? And then tomorrow we're going to figure out what Bev did to her tumbler, and we're going to accomplish a tumbler tomorrow night. Probably this tumbler because I can measure it, because I know confident that I can do this one. But so if you don't have any questions, so it is so newbie friendly. Oh, I'm so glad. Virginia, I know that new coaster, like you do that one and then you are just off and running. So, and look in the generator with the, here, I'm going to just switch over to xTool Studio and I'm going to minimize this. And over here, if you are new to xTool and you are looking for projects, this little generator, the applications, there are so many fun things. This is where I got the project to do this one. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but we did this one. I showed it yesterday, but I made a frame with the frame generator right here. Let's see here, photo frame, and printed the picture. Now I got glue on my picture from sliding it into the photo frame. That was my fault, but I printed the picture on here. I made my photo frame on here, and what a great gift. I mean, and I could have sized this down and this would make a great refrigerator magnet, grandparents, things like that to use. So there's photo frame generators, there's keychain generators, earring generators, little vases. I mean, like literally everything you can think of is in here to get you started. Keychain, name things. I mean, all sorts of sports bag tags. And so if you're new and you're not sure what to make, or you're just looking for a project, that little section has so much. And just, you know, confidence in crafting and then lasering is just by starting with a project, figuring it out and moving on to the next one. And so, let's see. You are so welcome, Stacy. Hot foil pen. There's not a hot foil pen with this one. There's not a hot foil pen on the M2. Let's see. Any chance of it coming, Richard? I don't know. You might know that just as much as me. Just easy. I don't know. I'll ask tonight in my list of questions whether or not a hot foil pen function will be coming. And so, so I am so glad that you're going to get one. I think it's a great machine. I was very, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to change this again because I want you guys to be able to enter to win the gift card. And so that way you can win. Someone needs to win the $100 gift card. And I'm new to all this, but I thought about it. And so, you know, if you're new and you get, yep. So here we're going to take, actually, I'm not going to take this out because I'm going to run it again. And if I take it out, I can't. So it did engrave, but it's very light. It needs to go back, and actually did more than I thought it did. So I need to just rerun it because it did not engrave deep enough. It didn't engrave dark enough. So I'm not going to touch anything so that I can just tell it to redo it, and it'll go back into the same place. So I would get the deluxe bundle if I was starting out and I could afford it, because then I feel like you're just opening up your doors of opportunity, and then you can just do whatever you want to do. This would make a great library edition. Almost every library in our area has a makerspace. But I do feel like if your library is new to makerspaces, or you're a teacher and you're teaching classes, this is a great addition. And so a RA3 in auto mode. So it is the RA3 and it is sideways, and it is right here. Can you see? I modeled it. Now the modeling is not accurate yet because this is a coffee shaped tumbler. So either I'm not accurate or the modeling's not accurate. I probably have something to learn here. But I did do this one earlier, and I did this one last week. And it is very cool. The rotary on this one's very cool. I just learning my settings. I probably need to run a test grid, but you know, who does that? Probably should, right? So you do not need a riser because of the laser being vertical. I'm using my inkjet head, but the laser is vertical and the RA3 is here with your tumbler. And so the tumbler is rotating and your laser is shooting out sideways versus this way. So you can fit larger tumblers, larger pieces in just like that. And so, yep. So you do not need a riser. And so Volt, it's okay because I need to run it again. And so tomorrow we're going to have to revisit a little bit on the tumbler making. I'm going to going to make sure that I master this. And so I have a P3, Richard, I do. And so, but it doesn't look exactly the same as the P3 and on the modeling. And so, and how you do it. But we'll go back. So we'll go back with it tomorrow, because I'm going to make sure that we get one all the way through on screen. And then we're also going to do something else really fun tomorrow night. So I'd love if you could hang out with me tomorrow night, 8 o'clock again, Central Standard Time, right here. And we are going to have a project that includes poster board, inkjet, and cutting. And so let's see here, Larry. F2 and love that laser. I love my F2 too, actually, a whole lot. I started with xTool with the F1, and I already had a CO2 laser, and then it's just been crazy ever since then. But the P3 is so fun. Would it be worth buying the M2? Well, I think that depends on what you make, like what you want to do, what you want to make, kind of thing. Where I could see myself using this a lot for my fabric, my paper crafting, some different things that maybe I don't want to use the P3. I don't want to use it for something, or if the P3 is cutting, my son cuts a lot of wood blanks on the P3. We have a customer that's all he does is cut wood blanks for him. So I don't necessarily want my applique fabric to smell like wood. So I think it really just kind of depends on what you want to do with it and kind of thing. I think the inkjet module is really super cool. So only you can decide like what you're going to make. But I do think it's worth it. I mean, I think it's great. And if you are a demo room host, like I said earlier today, we had 5 people come in today, just walk in that know where the studio is and just walk in wanting to see it. They're all coming back Saturday, but it was a little crazy about how excited people were to see it. Richard, I am excited about the tumblers. I am completely intimidated by tumblers. 100% intimidated by tumblers. I do anything I can to get out of making the tumblers. And this, I feel like I can master. I feel like I need to mess up about 5 more, but then I feel like I can master this one on the tumblers. And so you are so welcome, Cindy. I can't wait to see you in person again on Saturday. Really? You had to say that you're watching from Disney? That's okay, though. I hope you're having fun. And so like Pokemon. And you know what? And then Larry, once you have 2 or 3, you become a demo room host and you come join us in all the crazy fun. And the inkjet module, I do too. I mean, I have to tell you, crazy impressed with how the inkjet module is doing. And even after just adding the gesso to the print, really, really thrilled with how well that one printed. And so looking to get it to demo. And so, yes, I think, you know what, I really do think people like it. I think a lot of times, in our community, we think everyone just wants the big lasers or the fancy lasers or the glossy, shiny ones, and forget that this is such a great market and such a great entry-level laser. And this is one too that I can carry. I can pick it up without issue. That I really do think that this could be a craft show laser, just like the F1 or the F2. It's very portable. If you save your inner styrofoam stuffings, it would be very portable to go. Let me see here. Can the inkjet module print on canvas? Have you tried? So I did try a canvas. Hold on, let me find it here. Where's that? I did try a canvas magnet. Okay. Now it did not go very clear. Let me just show you guys. So I did a canvas magnet, but the canvas had lines in it. So my print had lines in it. So I'm not really sure. I probably need to try another canvas. But I have not tried just a canvas, like just flat canvas. So I'm sure it could though, because it printed on fabric without an issue. So I'm sure it could print on canvas. And it also printed on felt. Where's my felt piece? Hold on. You guys, we're just collecting stuff over here. I printed on felt as well. Let's see. Here it is. And I was able to print on felt. So you could do cute little pennant banners, things like that with felt, tons of stuff like that. So I do think that you could print on canvas. And so thank you, Sue. You too. And oh yeah, Jennifer, it totally would be good for the maker spaces and libraries. And yeah, I can just take it to that P3. No, nope, nope, nope. I stand back whenever the guys move the big stuff around here. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go home. I'm going to take a nap and before I come back to work tomorrow. And then tomorrow I have some ideas for us of things that we're gonna do. And I hope you guys all hang out here tomorrow night with me. Okay. And so, yes, 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 Christy. I printed on felt. This is like I don't know, like the not soft felt. I don't know what you would, like the difference between like the fuzzy felt versus like the little bit thicker felt. And so see you tomorrow, Dream Factory. You're so welcome, Jennifer. You're so welcome, Kim. Good night to you. And so, yes, I think that you could do just a ton of really fun things. And so you're so welcome. So thank you guys. I appreciate you hanging out with me even, and we're going to show that Tumblr tomorrow because I'm just going to run it again tomorrow morning when I get in. And anyway, have a blessed night and I'll see you guys then. Okay. You're welcome, Virginia. And so thank you, Augustine Dreams. You guys, sometimes these usernames are hard for me to say. Anyway, goodbye, guys. Have a great